This is a true story about a man whose life has been ruined by pornography. This is going to be difficult, but I feel compelled to share it in the hopes that someone may wake up and see. My life has been wrecked by pornography. I'm certain of it now. It's poison to the body, mind, and spirit. It's so sneaky because it appeals to your natural inclinations, and it appears inescapable on the surface. I mean, isn't sex healthy and natural? I'm not sure because I've never had sex. By the way, I'm 41 years old. I was absolutely heartbroken and traumatized when my father died when I was 10 years old. I've been incredibly alienated and lonely as I've withdrawn deeply inside myself. Because I've never had any male authority figures in my life, I've never grown up to be a proper man. I've always been a really shy and anxious person. Girls appeared to be extraterrestrials, lovely and unreachable. I couldn't communicate to them since anxiety made my body panic, therefore it goes without saying that I never built any relationships throughout my formative years since I was so lonely, terrified, and miserable. Girls, in my perspective at the time, were only interested in men who were strong, energetic, and adventurous, which I was not. I was continuously immersed in my own universe, reading, painting, and generally living in a fantasy world. My mother wasn't emotionally available to me, and she couldn't take the position of my father, a male authoritative figure. As a result, I grew up weak and unmanly. Girls wouldn't be interested in someone like me, at least that's what I assumed. Of course, that's how I came across porn. I was hooked on the internet the day I got it. It was dial-up back then. I got it because there was no method to download movies. But I was already addicted. This was my fantasy world, an infinite stream of exquisite beauty and attraction, hours and hours of masturbation. I mean, what could be better? After a number of years, I acquired severe depression and anxiety. I didn't go a single day without having at least one panic episode. My high school and university pals were going about their lives, dating, having children, and so on. But that is not the case with me. In my perspective, I was the way I was because I was cursed, my father died, and I was unattractive. I had developed a significant porn addiction by the age of 20 without even realizing it. Even for a guy my age, I believed it was normal. Every day, I would masturbate up to 3 times. I'll spare you the gory details, but my room was in a bad state as a result of my bad habit. I did seek help from a psychotherapist. Initially, it was group psychotherapy. It didn't help because I was unable to open up about anything. The fact that I was still a virgin was the most upsetting thing for me, so I was lying about it. I couldn't tell anyone since it was too humiliating. That was a huge blunder on my part. Maybe things would have been different if I had told them about my porn addiction back then. Years passed, and I moved to a different nation because I believed I needed to alter my surroundings. I was suicidal and despondent at the time. And, of course, I was dreaming about intimacy, connection, true love, something I'd never experienced, as well as watching porn. By that time, the internet had advanced to the point that non-stop movie downloading was possible. My sexuality was twisting as well. I was becoming bored quickly and easily, therefore I wanted fresh porn, different porn. Real-life girls and women had almost completely lost their appeal to me. My sexual vitality had been depleted, and I had been focusing solely on pornography. I was 27 years old at the time. I couldn't stomach being a virgin any longer, so I decided to go to an escort. I didn't want to, but I couldn't handle the notion that I would be 30 years old and still be a virgin. Nothing happened since I was unable to perform. Isn't it surprising? Even though reality was finally dawning on me, I did nothing about it. After my 5th escort, which I couldn't fulfill the previous 4 times, I told myself, enough of this farce. My final intercourse lasted 2 minutes, I could only get hard for 2 minutes and couldn't maintain the erection at all. The lady's expression said it all, she was a complete failure. This completely wrecked me, and I spent the next few years of my life in extreme isolation and melancholy. Work, there were no buddies, no nothing. I was pondering suicide when I was 30 years old. LSD was the thing that got me out of it. Now, I'm not going to praise it, but in my instance, it was quite beneficial. My mind was transferred beyond itself as I was sitting in the forest contemplating suicide, and for the first time, I could rationally perceive myself from the outside view. At that moment, I realized there was more to life than I had previously believed. After that, my sadness lifted for a few years, and my life became much more fascinating. I acquired more friends and developed an interest in issues such as religion and spirituality, as well as mythology. You know, I was finally feeling like I could go on. However, I was still extremely lonely. I was 35 years old and had never kissed a woman. I was continuously thinking about my wasted years, my father, and all the girls I adored but never had the confidence to speak to. Severe depression was reasserting itself. The following was my porn consumption cycle: 1 week of non-stop porn downloading, masturbating, and feeling severe shame and guilt over it, followed by deleting all the porn and attempting to leave. After erasing everything the next day, I re-download everything, and the cycle continues. This has been going on for years, to the point that I no longer see any light. I finally went to a psychotherapist and told him everything that was bothering me. Unfortunately, I did not have the financial means to continue seeing a psychoanalyst, so I only had a few sessions. But the worst was yet to come for me. I finally met a female who liked me at work. Years of solitude and self-discovery shaped me into a strange persona. I excel at various interests, am well-read, and might be called a fascinating person to converse with. My brand of humor is dry and sardonic, which some people find appealing. To cut a long tale short, things didn't pan out. I didn't know what to do when our connection became sexual at least, and I was terrified to tell her everything for fear of losing her. Regardless, I lost her. I feel like I betrayed her because she dumped her boyfriend for me, and she was in love with me for a little period of time. This story broke my heart. Then I came across weed. Marijuana smoking was an even more pernicious habit. It's the ideal drug for me since it amplifies senses and, in particular, porn. For at least 2 years, all I did was go high and masturbate. My pornographic tastes deteriorated to the point where I was seeing both trans and homosexual porn while remaining entirely straight in real life. My mind was entirely fogged up. Every day, I cried, then masturbated, then cried again, thinking more and more about terminating my life. Intrusive thoughts, various nasty, unpleasant ideas, even obsessive-compulsive, unpleasant ideas began to plague me. My internal monologue was full with insults directed at myself: "You pathetic scum, useless loser, fucking moron, kill yourself now, get rid of yourself, you'll never be loved again, you don't deserve anyone, you'll always be a loser," and so on. Now that I'm 41, I'm older than my father was when he died. My life is at a fork in the road. I've accomplished nothing worthwhile, I don't have a family, and I just have a few pals that live in another country. I'm making a concerted effort to give up cannabis and porn. For nearly a week, I've been free of porn and cannabis. I'm not sure I'll be able to handle it. My existence is absolutely meaningless, and I'm more depressed than I've ever been. I'm often asking myself, what's the point of living another 30 to 40 years? To me, it's a life sentence. Because I've never had real sex, I don't feel like a man. And as a result, I don't feel like a valuable human being. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments section, and subscribe to the channel with the notification bell turned on so you don't miss any future videos. Also, take a look at our other videos. I'll see you in the next one.